So welcome to the channel, and what is actually round two making this video, because some bonehead, this one, when transferring yesterday's video to the desktop, I'm going to say it vanished, but I'm willing to bet I had something to do with it. But anyways, so now I have to remake the video, and it's too bad because yesterday was Merc Day for us, so the boys were here working as well, and I had extra footage on that video that I was hoping to put in. But anyways, so this is number one. This is the 1990 GMC that we picked up for a parts truck, and we weren't too sure that all the diagnostics done on the truck were accurate, so we did our own, of course. I'll throw in the quick section of the frame. I had to look it over pretty thoroughly to actually find that where it was rotted through was at the back of the frame, and anything that's beyond the rear axle actually is well in the realm of repair for a safety, because it's the middle of the truck generally where it poses a bigger issue in terms of a safety. And I thought this could be repaired, but then again, there was another problem, of course, was the claim that it had a blown engine. I don't believe it's a blown engine per se. After checking it over, I'll have a look here. We threw a battery in it and it turns over okay. We could see the fuel spraying in the injectors while we were checking it.
What is it, Missy?
And we popped the distributor cap off. The rotor was turning, and it turned out that all the ignition was timed correctly. The plugs were in the right spot and everything. We pulled a couple of plugs, and what we found was they were pretty heavily. There was no fuel getting to number one. Number two was pretty heavily soaked. It wasn't an obvious. It was burping a little bit back through the throttle body, sort of indicating maybe a problem with a sticking valve or a collapsed valve spring or something along that lines. Now, I don't know. I kind of dried up. So anyways, down here at this exhaust donut on the driver's side, there was in fact oil being pumped out of that donut flange and leaking down onto the frame there, which is a bad sign of either a broken piston or broken rings, or just a very heavily scored cylinder. And in the case of this, like, it's pretty obvious that this truck saw regular washes because it looks pretty good, but this is what you don't want to do. When you don't stay on top of your oil changes, this is what the inside of your engine starts to look like. And I'm pretty sure, based on that, like, look at this valve cover here. I'll see if I can block the sun a bit. Look at this valve cover. That gunge is 100% lack of oil changes. So I don't even know. There's no tag on this truck. I didn't even bother looking at the number. It's either a 350 or a 305. But this small block is most definitely in need of a, it's got to come apart and be checked first, but yeah, a rebuild. So we don't care anyways. We're not using this engine. Probably put all these extra parts up for sale and just move a lot of this along. So that's round one of this video. I was a knucklehead. I decided to start taking the back apart, ripped the lights out, took the tailgate off, and then I realized that the dually's hooked up to my trailer and I need to move it. I can't take the gate off the dually because it won't open all the way. Well, look at that. Got a free pair of side cutters. So, while all that was going on, I'm going to throw in what the boys were up to. The boys were rocking and rolling while I was playing with the last of that out there yesterday. And I know probably everybody's getting really tired of watching the front clip come off and on our Monterey, but the fact that it's coming back off is actually a really good sign, because that means we're getting closer to moving on to the next leg. And I wish I could say I had more video, but we use ring motion activated cameras for a lot of our video footage, and our service provider has been absolutely dropping the ball. Our signal's been knocking out. We use extenders. We use 2 extenders to move the Wi-Fi signal out to the garage, and still we're having problems anyways. And I gotta say, when you go to a restaurant and you order a steak dinner and you only get potato and vegetables without the steak, do you pay full price? Because it's kind of what's going on with this service. Like our internet, we pay full for the internet. We never get breaks when it's gone, and it's gone an awful lot of times. And I would tell you their name, but I'd be worried that Kojiko might retaliate if I said their name. So you're not going to hear their name from me. So anyways, there's a couple good things going on here. I promised I would show off a new part. Here is our original windshield washer reservoir bag. Of course, you can see that that has been through the test of time. And again, like I've mentioned many times, you have to keep checking for these parts because they are available and then they're not available. And to get the red one for months was unavailable. There's also a black one and a blue one when you get into the later years with the Cougars and the Mustangs and the Torinos. And anyways, so that is an authorized part. It is very, well, I would say it looks quite a bit like the original. So that's the first issue or item I'm going to mention. This was Tim's station yesterday. We got him set up to make this big mess. I'll just talk to him about this mess, actually. He should have cleaned that up. So him and I ripped apart the drive shaft so we could get the size of the U-joints, because there's a couple variable ones, and then he started to clean up a couple parts. This is the cover that goes on the front of the rear differential for the Monterey, and look at that. That is the original body stopper that goes on top of this, and it is in great shape. We're just going to clean that up and put it right back in the car. So that's the first item. He did a beautiful job of cleaning up this drive shaft. And I mean, look at this piece all the way up. We're going to finish the prep on this thing. And this will be amongst one of the first pieces getting painted real soon, because we'll put that in the satin black chassis paint. And here's the yoke. And the yoke just looks, I mean, you can read every detail on this thing. We got a couple of really nice pieces to put into the car for sure. And the other thing I got to point out is, I think it'll show up pretty cool. There's original green, yellow, and there's actually another yellow stripe right here on the drive shaft that were revealed after Tim cleaned them up there. And of course, here's one of the U-joints, so we can order the correct ones and get them reassembled after everything is all painted up. So another little quick detail, the boys blew apart the front clip on the car, and then they reminded me that I hadn't finished repairing the inner fender for the passenger side. I have a little more grinding to do and a little more prep, and then that's going to get a skim coat of product or body filler or fiberglass, whatever you want to call it anyways. And just got to clean up the other side. It's actually quite tidy on the inside. So that is almost ready to go now, and all the shape of it is correct now. So pretty happy with that, actually. I guess I'll go all the way to the back of the car here, where we got a couple of big jobs done. We talked before about having to move these trunk rails in to match where the original convertible troughs are, and you can see that that just has to be welded up to that. And we made the cut all the way along here, and then that's all been re-welded back together on both sides now. And again, I had the cameras rolling, but unfortunately the service wasn't picking them all up. So this side is now all welded back together, and this was all rotten out in here, and this is a piece we were able to make thanks to our shrinker stretcher. And the only thing we got to do in here now is we have to put a couple of relief cuts, because this piece comes out on a little bit of an angle on the original. You can see how the original one looks over here. It's kind of a little bit of a dish or a bowl shape. So we have the other piece that goes in here to fill all this in, and of course the corner piece is from the original convertible. And then once that's all filled in, we're going to be done with this area once all this is welded all up and together. And this is amongst some of the last stuff we have to do with the body before we remove it from the car. I'm going to give you the very raw version of our biggest task so far in the last couple of months. This is still in the unfinished stage, of course, because it just got all welded up and everything. But this is our completely homemade B-pillar. This is all made from flat sheet metal. That I got to give props to Mitch. He has tons of time into this thing and has done an amazing job with all the contours. And it looks a little funny right now because we wound up having to get our spacing. I'll just show you with the door closed so that we get the gap and the correct spacing looking down the side of the car so everything is flush. That took a ton of time to get it right. But when I put this additional piece, I'll see if I can hold this with one hand. And get far enough away so you can see it. But this would be the fold over from the quarter panel. I'll get a little ways away, and you can see how our piece finishes it all off. It's got to just be shoved in a little bit at the bottom there, but once this edge is all welded together, it replicates the other side pretty good, and by all our measurements we took, it fits quite well actually. And then here's the final. We left this a little on the large side, and this is not the piece, this is from the other side, but it kind of gives you the idea. So when that's on there, this will finish off the rest of the body lines and that with the additional piece. And then we'll shave that extra piece of tin down to fit inside that additional piece there. And it's getting close. So that's kind of the quick update to where we are. I think I'm going to put cleaning the shop on the first list because, man, do we ever make a mess in a hurry around here. So I'm going to catch you up more when we get this camera problem sorted out. I mean, it is so frustrating. You try to do the work. You try to remember to put cameras on. You try to move cameras so they're where you are working. And then, of course, you got to grab all the footage and then you got to make the videos. So it's actually quite a number of steps that got to go correctly. And when they don't, it's a real bummer, especially if there's some good footage. I will add that it's been stupid hot here. I know everybody's hearing I keep hearing that in all the other videos and people that live, nearby to where we do. And yeah, it has been just piping hot with the humidity, 92% today. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We appreciate all of you, and we will talk to you real soon.